Madhava Vihara. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihara. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradha. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradha. Gopi Jana Vallabha Gauranandana Raja Janaranjana Yasodhana Yamunatira Vanacha Yamunatira Vanacha Yamunatira Vanacha Jaya Rama Vihara. Gopi Jantava Girivaradha. Gopi Jantava Yasodhana Raja Jana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari. He's shy. He likes to be in the background. He's a shy guy. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, now we're on the second canto. I just started the second canto. So this morning we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 1, the first step in God realization. It's a good step, first step. And we're on 10, right? 19. 19. Okay. Tarikavaya Vandaya
Ekavaya Vandyaye
Avyujena Chetasa
Avyuchinena Chetasa
Mano Nirvisayam Yukva
Mano Nirvishayam Yukva
Tata Kinchana Smarit
Tata Kinchana Smarit
Param Tat Paramam Vishnu
Param Tat Paramam Vishnu
Mano Yatra Prasidati
Mano Yatra Prasidati
Tatraikava Yavam Yayet
Tatrikavaya Vandyaye
Ayuchinena Chetasa
Avyuchinena Chetasa
Mano Nirvisayam Yukva
Mano Nirvishayam Yukva
Tata Kinchana Smarit
Tata Kinchana Smarit
Param Tat Paramam Vishnu
Padam Tat Paramam Vishnu
Mano Yatra Prasidati
Mano Yatra Prasidati
Tatraikavayam Vandayet
Tatrikavaya Vandyaye
Ayuchinena Cetasa
Ayukshinena Chetasa
Manonirvasayam Yuktva
Manonirvishayam Yukva
Tata Kinchana Smara
Tata Kinchana Smare
Palam Tat Vishnu
Padam Tat Paramam Vishnu
Mano Yatra Pasidati
Mano Yatra Sidati
Tatraikavaya Vamdhyayet
Tatrikavaya Vamdhyayet
Vichinnena Chetasa
Avyuchinena Chetasa
Mano Nirvishayam Yuktva
Mano Nirvishayam Yukva
Tata Kinchana Nasmaret
Tata Kinchana Smare
Padam Tat Paramam Vishnu
Padam Tat Paramam Vishnu
Mano Gatra Prasidati
Mano
Mano Yatra Prasidati
Tatra
Tatra
Thereafter
Thereafter
Eka
Eka
one by one
one by one
Avyayam
Avyayam
limbs of the body
limbs of the body
Dhyayat
Dhyayat
should be concentrated upon
should be concentrated upon
Achtunanina
Ayuchinena
without being deviated from the complete form.
without being deviated from the complete form.
Cetasa
Chetasa
by the mind.
by the mind.
Mana
Mana
mind.
mind.
Nirvisayam
Nirvishayam
without being contaminated by sense objects.
without being contaminated by sense objects.
Yuktva
Yuktva
being dovetailed.
being dovetailed.
Tata
Tata
after that.
after that.
Kinchana
Kinchana
anything.
anything.
Na
Na
do not. Smaret
Smaret
think of.
think of.
Param
Param
personality.
personality.
Tat
Tat
that. Paramam
Paramam
supreme.
supreme.
Vishnu
Vishnu
of Vishnu.
of Vishnu.
Mana
Mana
the mind.
mind.
Yatra whereupon
Thereupon
Prasidati
Prasidati
becomes reconciled.
becomes reconciled.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thereafter, you should meditate upon the limbs of Vishnu, one after another, without being deviated from the conception of the complete body. Thus the mind becomes free from all sense objects. There should be no other thing to be thought upon, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu is the ultimate truth. The mind becomes completely reconciled in Him only. Purport. Foolish persons, bewildered by the external energy of Vishnu, do not know that the ultimate goal of the progressive search after happiness is to get in touch directly with Lord Vishnu, the personality of God. The Vishnu Tattva is an unlimited expansion of different transcendental forms of the personality of Godhead. How many are there?
Unlimited.
Like the waves in the ocean. How many waves in the ocean are there? Akinchana? No, Ananta Chaitanya.
Ananta.
Ananta Chaitanya. Ananta, yeah, unlimited. Yeah, unlimited. And the supreme or original form of Vishnu is Govinda, or Lord Krishna, the supreme cause of all causes. Therefore, thinking of Vishnu or meditating upon the transcendental form of Vishnu, specifically upon Lord Krishna, is the last word on the subject of meditation. This meditation may be begun from the lotus feet of the Lord. And sometimes I've met people, Indians, they say that Krishna is an incarnation of Vishnu. You heard this? Actually, it's even in the Bhagavatam. He's the ninth incarnation of Vishnu. Let's give me a little. That's in the Bhagavatam. Oh, well. Krishna is to Bhagavan Svayam. Krishna is the source of all the incarnations of Krishna. So what's interesting is Prabhupada said, we're in the same family. It's okay. We don't have to argue about it. They believe in Krishna, they believe in Vishnu, we believe in Vishnu, we believe in Krishna. We're on the same time. No need arguing. So that's the way getting arguing about it. Okay, yeah, Krishna's an incarnation of Vishnu. Leave it at that, yeah. This meditation may be begun from the lotus feet of the Lord. The lotus feet of the Lord, I think that's the first and second canto, right? I think it's the first and second canto. So we're on the lotus feet of the Lord right now. One should not, however, forget to be misled, forget or be misled by the complete form of the Lord. Thus, one should practice thinking of the different parts of his transcendental body, one after another. Here, in this verse, it is definitely assured that the Supreme Lord is not impersonal. I saw something recently that, the Muslims, they don't think that God, think of him as a father, right? Because I guess they're impersonal. They don't think God's a person, right?
Typically not.
Yeah.
They don't think God's a person.
Yeah. So this one young African American, the scholar of Islam, he was talking, and this one young African American, he said, "Do you believe that Jesus believed that God was a father?" And he said, "Yes," because they believe in Jesus like a prophet, right? And so Jesus believed that God is the Father, and you accept that. And he said, "Yes, but you don't believe that God is the Father." And he said, "Well, that was before, that was 2,000 years ago." And then the young man said, "So God changed his mind." And the guy was stumped. Here's a big scholar of the Quran, and he was, no, he didn't change his mind. He didn't know what to say. Jesus saw him as a father, and everybody accepts God is the Father. But then you accept, impersonal. Yeah. He is a person. And also in South India, there's a lot of impersonalism. So Prabhupada was giving a class in South India, and he was saying how God is the supreme personality of Godhead. Or Krishna, I think he said Krishna is supreme. And he had everybody repeat it. Because they're such impersonalists, he had them repeat it. Please repeat after me. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And they all did. So hopefully it's kind of sunk in a little bit. A lot of impersonalism in South India. Here in this verse, it is definitely assured that the Supreme Lord is not impersonal. He is a person, but his body is different from those of the conditioned persons like us. Otherwise, meditation beginning from the pranava omkar up to the limbs of the personal body of Vishnu would not have been recommended by Sukadeva Goswami for the attainment of complete spiritual perfection. The Vishnu forms of worship in great temples of India are not, therefore, arrangements of idol worship, as they are wrongly interpreted to be by a class of men with a poor fund of knowledge. Rather, they are different spiritual centers of meditation on the transcendental limbs of the body of Vishnu. But, quite often Prabhupada would say that people are giving their own interpretation. For instance, of the Bhagavad Gita, people are given so many interpretations. And one person said, "Well, but you've also given your interpretation." And Prabhupada said, "No, that's not interpretation. That's explanation." Explanation. Interesting. So Prabhupada, he knows the Bhagavad Gita and he lives the teaching, so he can give an explanation. Other people, they're not living the teachings. So they're just giving their interpretation. The worshipful deity in the temple of Vishnu was identical with Lord Vishnu by the inconceivable potency of the Lord. Therefore, a neophyte's concentration or meditation upon the limbs of Vishnu in the temple, as contemplated in the revealed scriptures, is an easy opportunity for meditation excuse me, for persons who are unable to sit down tightly at one place and then concentrate upon pranava, omkar, or the limbs of the body of Vishnu, as recommended herein by Sukadeva Goswami, the great authority. The common man can benefit more by meditating on the form of Vishnu in the temple than on the Omkar, the spiritual combination of AUM, as explained before. There is no difference between Omkar and the forms of Vishnu, but persons unacquainted with the science of absolute truth try to create dissension by differentiating between the forms of Vishnu and that of Omkar. Here it is indicated that the Vishnu form is the ultimate goal of meditation, and as such, it is better to concentrate upon the forms of Vishnu than on the impersonal Omkar. The later process is also more difficult than the former. Om Jnana Purnamishya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshmi Vichonjena Tasmai Shri Yat Kripataraham Vande Shri Guru Ginatharana Bhaktikapa Jivishta Kripa Sindhya Champaritana Pavali Vaishnavi Om Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram. The first sentence in this purport, Prabhupada refers to this very famous verse, Natevadu Svartha Gatingi Vishnu, Durasya Ye Bhayar, and Hayatanya Paniyama, Te Pisa Chantra, Urdamni, Badha. This is the verse that Prabhupada quoted more than any other verse. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. People do not know what is actually valuable. Natevadu Svartha Gatingi Vishnu. What they're thinking is very valuable is sense gratification. This is the religion of the age. Doesn't matter what religion you're in, that's still the prominent religion. Sense gratification. Because they think that they're the body. Ishyatma buddhi, kunapejad hatuke, swadik kalatrana sabhomi ejati. Anybody who thinks that this body, which is made of bhami, to be the self, who thinks that their relation with their family is a permanent relationship that'll continue on. There's some religions that believe that. You go back to heaven and you're there with your wife and you got your little dog and you got your kids and it just continues on. And who thinks that the place of their birth is worshipful. Who goes to the places of pilgrimage not to hear from the saintly people, but just to take a bath. No better than a cow or an ass. You know what that means? There's a lot of cows and asses walking around. And we're also trying to get out of that bodily conception of life. So we're trying to get out of this ass and cow consciousness. It's not easy. Conditioned to this. Prabhupada is beyond that. There's some personality that transcended this bodily conception of life. But we're on the journey. We're on the path. So they don't know what is actually valuable. What is actually valuable is devotional service. Service to Krishna. This is what will satisfy the soul. I was just reading in the Nectar Devotion that the sum and substance of the Nectar Devotion is that our loving propensity will only be satisfied in a loving relationship with Krishna in one of the different rasas. So I was like, wow, okay, this is the sum and substance of the entire Nifty devotion. Everybody wants to have a loving relationship, but they're putting their attention just on the body, thinking that's love. Admendri Priti, Vantutara Balikam, Krishnendri Priti Ichadara Prema. That love means to engage our senses in the service of Krishna. And lust means to satisfy our own senses. This is the difference. So, therefore, it's expressed so much that we engage our senses in the service of Krishna, and this will completely satisfy us. Otherwise, we have to continue on in material life, attached. Lord Chaitanya said there's two reasons why it's difficult to attain love for Krishna. One, because we have to be attached to Krishna. We're attached to this body, we're attached to things connected to this body, the country or the family. So we got to give up this attachment, we got to become attached to Krishna. Not easy. And the other reason, he said, because Krishna simply doesn't give it easily. Because if you get something easily, give it up easily. Right? But if you want something and you give it all you've got, just give it all you've got, and then when you attain it, you never give it up. So that's what it takes to get Krishna. We give it all we've got. We got it because Krishna, he sees, he knows what we're attached to, what we're not attached to. So we're trying to somehow become attached to Krishna. And Queen Kunti, she says what people are most attached to. Janmaishvarya, Shrutashripi, Hedamana Mada, Nairahatu, Toma Kinchana Gotra, high birth, status. Status. People want to become very wealthy to get that. And it was the 500 club. What is that?
Fortune, 500 fortune, is it?
Yeah. 500 fortune. Get 500. Status. People, everybody wants to be wealthy. And say, what was it? Gaura Gopal, he was given a class. Big group. He was in Chowpatty, all the students are there. Yeah. How many of you think that money will bring happiness? Maybe about 3 people rose their hand. In other words, so you agree, money won't bring happiness. How many of you want a lot of money? Everybody does. Well, it's not going to bring you happiness. Why do you want a lot of money? Not just a little money, you want a lot of money. So, but it doesn't bring happiness. Janmaishvarya, opulence, people want opulence, big house, nice car. But what is a big house? It's bricks. It's bricks and paint and pipes, toilets. But it'll cost you. There's homes around here that cost you like $30 million or more, which is bricks, paint, some wood, some pipes. It's just
to maintain the thing.
Huh?
Just to maintain the thing.
Oh yeah, just maintaining it. And then you got to pay just property tax. Oh God, it's like ridiculous. We've created this artificial society of status, ego. If you go sometimes we go on door to door and you look in the house and it's just like a complete mess. It's dark. The whole house like dark, and sometimes there's they're fighting, and they practically all got alcohol. Like in Miami, where we were searching for a place after we got there, we were selling the hotel. And I was going around looking for places. So we found a few places. So and they invite you in, and so you want some whiskey? No, that's okay. The first thing you do, no, you don't want any? You want, how about some wine? No? That's like the first thing. So in all these wealthy houses, they all got alcohol. And believe it or not, I was shocked. There's this family in Los Angeles. They're all devotees. You know, the mother's a devotee, the father's a devotee, the son is a devotee. Yeah. And they had alcohol in the house. Like, what are you guys doing? You're devotees. What are you doing with alcohol? They got a bar with alcohol. They wanted, the American standard, That's the standard. What is that?
They are devotees.
They're devotees. They don't drink it. And I said, what do you got alcohol in? Well, the people, they bring it here. They bring, but just pour it out. What do you got it? How do you do? And they got a deity room in there for the deities. It's his home. They got alcohol.
Yes.
Huh? For the guest. Yeah. Terrible. So Janmaisvarya, Shuta, education. There's a, believe it or not, there's one person, I think he's got 18 PhDs from India. He said, I like to keep learning. I just like to keep learning. But he's learning all this garbage. All nonsense. Just read one page of the Bhagavad Gita and you know more than all the books that he studied and he'd get his PhDs. Just like when I was in school, I was disappointed in school. What use is all this? But then when I got the Bhagavad Gita, so here's some education. Couldn't put it down. It's like, wow, this is real education. What is it Bhaktivinoda Thakur said? It's called slaughterhouse civilization. Slaughterhouse. The universe is slaughterhouse. Go there just and devotees told me that they went to university. They learned how to sin more than anything else. Is it? You go there, just all the drugs and illicit and activity going on. Is it? Yeah.
Yes.
It's terrible. In high school, because you're a little more innocent, you see in high school, but then when you go up to college, sophisticated sense gratification. So, we're trying to give them real education. So Janmaisvara Shuta, Shri, and beauty. I was watching one interview that Jay Shetty, he was having with Madonna. Some of you might know Madonna. She was like the top singer, entertainer, top female entertainer in the world. I looked at her. I think she should be older than what she looks. She's 67 years old, but she looked like she was 25 because they got all this money. So they Botox, facelifts, and all kinds of things. She looked like she was 25, 67. They want to keep that beauty, but when you hit 90, sorry, Botox ain't gonna help. Facelift ain't gonna. You look like unless you want to look like an ET, because you gotta stretch it out. You look very funny once you get 90 or even 85. It's gone. Sorry, but they still even in their 90s, everything's gone. Still, they put the makeup and just try to keep something. Can't keep a kinchana gotra. So persons who are attached to high birth, beauty, opulence, education, they can't call out your name with devotion because of this attachment. So, but when one becomes a kinchana gotra, free of attachment, then one can attract Krishna. Now, in our society, we kinchana means having material things. Akinchana means detached from material things. So we use a lot of material things in our society. We got nice cars, and we have nice apartments and nice temples, but it's all for Krishna. But sometimes we can slip and but then they start using a little bit for ourselves as well. So we got to be careful. Prabhupada said that the big downfalls is women and money, and we got them both in our society, so we can exploit and go the wrong direction. So we have to, although we're using all these things, we should be clear that it's being used for Krishna. Prabhupada was in Mayapur, and they had, at that time, we had the Lotus building and the Long building, and, things are happening. And so one interviewer came and said, "But you're an ascetic group. Why do you have all these? I see you got these cars and you got these big buildings." And Prabhupada said, "If I didn't have any of this, you wouldn't even come and speak to me." Because Prabhupada had all this, therefore he thought, no, it's worthwhile to come and speak to him. The leader of the Hare Krishna movement. Yeah. So we have all these things because people are attracted to these things. But when they come, we give them Krishna. We give them Krishna. So like this, Prabhupada said the TOVP, about the TOVP, big dome, big, 300 feet. I think it's going to be the biggest temple in India, right? I think it'll be the biggest. They're going to open it up next year.
Nanda Prabhu said the biggest modern temple in India.
It'd be the biggest modern
That's
temple.
what he said yesterday.
Who said that?
Sananda Prabhu.
Sunanda. Yeah, I thought there might be one that's bigger.
TOVP?
I don't think so. There's one. I don't think there's one. There's one in Europe, I think.
Hindu temple?
No, the Hindu temple. I think it's. I think you're right.
Temple in general.
He said in
India.
In India, it'll be the second biggest.
He just said the biggest modern temple.
Biggest one. So that means there's an older temple that's bigger. No, maybe, I don't think so. I have to investigate.
Yeah.
We got to chat GPT.
So on the TOVP website, it says comparing the TOVP against major architectural landmarks, it's much bigger than the Taj Mahal and the Paul's Cathedral in London. It's only smaller than the St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City. It's only smaller than that.
Oh, it's smaller. Huh?
Yes.
It's smaller than St. Peter's Cathedral
Yes, in terms of the dome size and the height.
in the height.
138 meters compared to the TOVP's 113 meters.
So it's the second biggest temple or religious structure in the world.
Seems like it from this.
Is that chat GPT?
No, but this is TOVP website.
Which website?
The TOVP's
Oh,
website.
TOVP. Yeah, they're not going to space out on that. I mean, come on. Second largest. So you got to tell Sananda. Then don't repeat that. Get a bad reputation. So it's the second largest religious structure in the world. The Prabhupada thought big. He said, "I only have one disease. I think big." He always thought big. He always wanted to talk to the President of the United States.
Mm.
Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But Radhanath Swami did. That was good. So, yeah. Akinchana. Freedom of attachment to material things. Now we have examples of in our society, devotees that were very Akinchana. Gaur Das Babaji. He was a very famous sadhu, and people would want to get his darshan. Therefore, he lived next to a little tree, next to a bathroom. They wouldn't come and bother him. But there was one person who wanted to invite him to a yajna, some yajna that he was having, and he begged him, "Please, Maharaj, you're so please come to my yajna." He said, why? Why? You don't listen to me. You won't listen to me. No, 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 please. Maharaj, why could you, please, whatever you say, I'll do whatever you say. No, no, you won't. You won't. You don't listen to me. No, no. How could you say, whatever you say? Sit here, chant Hare Krishna. Don't go home. Oh, anything but that. He took off, he ran away. So, Gopishore, that's why he had a good sense of humor. Never saw him again. So he was a real Akinchana. And then there's a Kinchana Das Babaji. There was a Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he put an ad in the paper. Anybody that just wants to chant Hare Krishna, you can come to our temple and just chant Hare Krishna. And he took up the offer. And he would just chant Hare Krishna. And other devotees, they would try to get him and do another service. He would just chant Hare Krishna. And sometimes they would even complain that, he's only chanting Hare Krishna. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, if you can do that, also you can just chant Hare Krishna. But they can't do that. He was such a great soul, such a great devotee. He was, when Prabhupada was getting his sannyas, and Akinchana Das Babaji, he was chanting. And he was Keshava Swami. He said, I guess he was playing cards. And then after a few minutes, Prabhupada said, go ahead. He could understand this person is going to go places. He's going to make a great impact in Krishna consciousness. So, he had an appropriate name, Akinchana. That's how they did. So, by this practice of Krishna consciousness, eventually we'll also become. Now, what's nice in Krishna consciousness is Krishna says, Neha Bhikkhavadasasni Pratyavana Vidyate. That in this endeavor, there's no loss or diminution. A little advancement will protect from the most dangerous type of fear. So whatever we're doing in Krishna consciousness, that goes in our eternal spiritual bank account. So we're just collecting more and more. Every day we're collecting more. Each time we chant Hare Krishna, it's going in our bank account. At the same time, we're trying to become free of material attachments, right? So we're getting this buildup of spiritual credit, and at the same time, we're trying to become free. And Krishna is very kind, so he helps us. So eventually, we'll become completely free. Nothing but a desire to serve Krishna. Always think of Krishna. In this Nectar Ocean, I was also reading how a devotee, he only wants to think of Krishna and please Krishna. Think of Krishna and please Krishna. And Prabhupada said a little bit after that, in that paragraph, he says, this is the mental culture of Krishna consciousness. The mental culture of Krishna consciousness. To always think of Krishna. Just like we have our 16 rounds. Now, it's not that we just chant our 16 rounds, and that's enough of that, enough Krishna for the rest of the day. Prabhupada was kind of criticizing this mood. He said, he chanted his 16 rounds, put his beads on, there, now I could do any damn thing. Criticizing his mentality. Now I've done that service, I've done that duty, now let me just do what I want to do. But no, this is meant to create a momentum. So we can think of Krishna throughout the day. And we've all had the experience of just walking down the street. And the mantra just, oh, Hare Krishna, isn't it? We've all had the experience because we're doing that, it automatically comes in. So, on that note, actually, one other thing I wanted to mention, that I think in the Vishnu Purana, it stated, anyway, I can't remember. But it said that if one forgets Krishna for a moment, that's the greatest failure, the greatest loss, the greatest illusion, and the greatest anomaly. Forget Krishna for a moment. 4 losses there.
What are they again?
Oh, it's the greatest failure, it's the greatest loss, it's the greatest illusion, and the greatest anomaly. So we're trying to remember Krishna, just to, if we forget, it's like, yeah. So somehow we gotta remember Krishna. So, but this Hare Krishna mantra, this is made perfectly for this age. Because in other ages, it's very difficult. Meditation for so long, thousands of years, and deity worship, very elaborate deity worship, and the yagyas. But this goes straight to Krishna, the Hare Krishna. And it's a pleasing activity. Rupa Goswami, he says, I do not know how much nectar there is in the 2 syllables, Krishna. When I chant the Hare Krishna mantra, the mantra appears to be dancing on my tongue. I desire to have many ears to hear, many tongues to chant. And when the holy name enters into the courtyard of my heart, it stops the activities in my mind. I experience unlimited happiness. So this is, we want to permeate our hearts. And this will stop the mind. This will conquer the mind. This is the problem. It's mentioned here also about the mind. Mind is the problem. Prabhupada says in the purport that we want to kill the demoniac mentality. Like Lord Nityananda told Lord Chaitanya when he was going to kill Jagat and Mother, Lord Chaitanya, in Kali Yuga, everybody's like this. The whole population would be dead if we killed the demon. But we got to kill the demoniac mentality. That's the goal, to kill the demoniac mentality. Okay, any question or comment?
I did a couple reflections. One last question through this anomaly. It says on, not, and homalos, even or smooth, or something that breaks the expected order.
Say it again.
On, not,
Yeah.
and homalos, even or smooth. Anomaly means that something that is not.
It's not smooth. It's rough.
It's rough.
It's rough. So you get out of this rough materialistic life with smooth Krishna consciousness. The velvet smooth Krishna consciousness.
Next. And then in terms of, and Babaji said, oh, you don't listen to me. You just sit down and chant Hare Krishna here. And we were reading in Namamrita earlier this week. Prabhupada purported that it's intense training for the mind to sit down in one place and chant Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I've been reading a lot of books on chanting Hare Krishna, and practically without exception. And also they said Prabhupada and Bhaktivinoda Thakur said the best thing is to sit, because that's easier to concentrate. When you're walking, and you got to navigate, and then you see people and you see things, and you try to you want to do things like if you're in your room, let me put this over there. One time I remember Hare Krishna, when he was temple president in Miami, he saw one devotee, he was Jan Japa, but he was with his left hand, he was going around doing all kinds of stuff. And Prabhupada said, you should. I mean, he said you should tie your hand up, get a rope and tie it around your waist, so you can't do anything with your left hand. So, yeah, when you're walking, it's just. But of course, then sometimes the tendency is to sleep if you're sitting. But if you're sitting and having a hard time staying, you're gonna obviously stand up.
And then in regards to when Prabhupada said, I want to see light and I can only think big, or I can't, it's what he said. This reminded me of Tuesday because one person, she came, Mataji, and she said, I don't like this ISKCON of Silicon Valley because you all set goals and for books, and it turns something spiritual into something corporate. And she said, oh, I left corporate because because of that reason, I always had this internal battle of what aligned with my consciousness. And now she says she's an energy healer and she channels and so forth. Therefore, I was wondering how to balance that out of goal setting and the delivery of it and leaving people with a good impression.
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, you could have told her we set a goal, but it's not that we're attached to it. So setting the goals, Prabhupada also he wanted to have 100-day temples. But it wasn't attached to it. So setting a goal, just like you could have told her, well, you want to be pure, right? So you set a goal to be pure. You're setting a goal also to be pure. So, but yeah, goals are being are there, but we're more attached to trying to please Krishna than to just get a certain number done. It's like it's very common for devotees. I do it also. I bring out a certain amount of books and I have a goal to do those books. But it's not that I'm, overly attached to doing that amount of books because it gets to be a certain amount of time in the day that I leave at that time and I'm not finished then. I had to go, but it didn't happen. It happens. Can't be attached. Yeah, we're not so attached to it. We're attached to pleasing Krishna, and we have this goal to please Krishna. If it happens, wonderful. If not, it's okay.
Appreciate that. She brought up the point that karma, that those that come to her, there's so many energy healers out there, but those that come to her are bound by karma to her. Could we say the same thing about ourselves? We don't have to strive so hard by karma. Those that are wanting to take books will take books, and those that come will not.
Not necessarily, because devotees, they pray. Prabhupada prayed. I do not know how they will understand this message, Krishna, but you're the master of mystics. You can help us out. So Prabhupada prayed for their deliverance. So with that prayer, we kind of interfered. Prabhupada says in the purport that Krishna, upon seeing the sincere efforts of his devotees to spread Krishna consciousness, sends people. So he kind of interferes with their karma because the devotee is so anxious to deliver the conditioned souls, even that it wasn't in their karma, Krishna will send it. Like we've met people that I wasn't going to come this way. I never come this way, but I came this way now. It must have been to get that book, isn't it? Isn't it? I mean, I met many people like that. I never come this way, but you're doing it. It must have been, to get this knowledge. Yeah. So Krishna interferes with their karma because of the sincerity of the devotee. Okay.